What's up, fight fans? Your boy P. Welsh here, bringing to you UFC Fight Night. Adesanya versus Pyfer from Seattle, Washington. Coming off a nice 11-2 week. That's like 21-6. I think the last couple getting hot here, getting hot. First up, Alexia Tayanara, strawweight bout against Bruna Brazil. Tayanara 13-1 versus Brazil 11-6-1. And I thought Brazil looked way better than I gave her credit for last time out. Kind of thought low-key she won, even though I was on Sousa. And she's a big underdog here against Tayanara, who's looking to continue her ascent in the UFC off of wins over Molly McCann and Loma Lookboonmee. And this is really a gambler spot for me on Bruna Brazil. I think Bruna Brazil by decision is a super live, quote-unquote, bet and possibility this week, and it wouldn't surprise me if it happened. Man, I get Alexia Tayanara as a beast in there, and she's got to move forward, but, Loma Lookboonmee really wasn't going to challenge her in the way physically that Bruna Brazil will. And, Molly McCann's Molly Meatball McCann. She's Meatball Molly McCann. And so... I'm half tempted to take a little sprinkle on Bruna Brazil here, and I'm gonna make it the official pick. I could look stupid here, and you guys could always turn off and never watch again. But all it takes is one of these to be right, and I really think she's got a fighter's chance. So I'm gonna take Bruna Brazil on a limb here. Next up, bantamweight bout. Actually, okay, hold up, timeout. If we're betting, we're taking Bruna Brazil. Official pick is Tayanara. Official pick, Tayanara, okay? We're going to cop out. We're going to cop out on the official picks. Next up, bantamweight bout, because I like an underdog here. Ricky Simone, 22-7 versus Adrian, ya boy, Yanez, 17-6. Ricky Simone coming off a loss to Basharat. Raoni Barcelos beat Basharat, beat Smotherman before that. Losses to Oliveira, Batista, Song Yadong. And we got Adrian Yanez, 17-6. Knockout specialist, lost to Daniel Marcos, looked pretty good, and a win over Salvador before that, and not a good look in between. So it's like, what Adrian Yanez shows up here? He's a great boxer, and if he's got potential to knock out Ricky Simone, there's definitely a chance there. I don't know. Ricky Simone's such a dog. I would hate to pick against him against somebody like Adrian Yanez, and he'd get beat up badly. Again, it might be one of those betting things where, Adrian Yanez is a good guy to bet, maybe to knock out Simone early, right? Because Simone's been knocked out. You could take him anytime knockout. But it's just one of those things that if Yanez looks bad, his one wins against a guy that was essentially a flyweight that came up to bantamweight. So that being said, the Marcos was a good fight. Martinez pummeled his legs, and he kind of, gave out. And I just worry that Simone can do almost anything here. So I was going to cop on Yanez, but I'm going to make the official pick Ricky Simone. But I might even sprinkle a little, sprinkle on Yanez KO, because I do think he's live with the hands. He can get him out early, and all it's going to take is a 1-2. And you're going to be like, dang, Adrian Yanez was an easy pick this week. But, I'm going to pick Simone there because I think he's going to be able to do whatever he wants. I think he'll be able to take him down. I think he'll be able to contest at the feet. And as long as he doesn't get caught, he'll be okay. Next up, Navajo Sterling light heavyweight bout against Bruno 205 Lopez. Not 185 or not 125 Bruno Lopez. There's 3 Bruno Lopez's. That's insane. Sterling, 8-0 prodigy from New Zealand. Couple knockouts, couple decisions. And this Bruno 205 Lopez lost to Dustin Jacoby by KO. Beat Gadzhidulov by decision before that. And, Contender Series KO. Yeah, I think Sterling here. I think, it seems like Sterling should be able to knock him out. But his last 3 fights have all been decisions. He's really such a technical kickboxer. I think he's trying to kind of ascend, not take too much damage or too many risks, and just straight up beat these guys. I think Navajo Sterling's an easy, I don't know. I gotta look at the odds again. I don't know if he's a parlay piece, but yeah, not one of the locks even. 575, yeah, but Navajo and some early. I think he is due for a KO at some point. Could be worth again a sprinkle, especially like if you're getting to this third fight and the first two are decision. Always like to see when the that comes on, but I don't think Lopes is too big of a. Maybe that's Bruno Silva. I don't even remember. There's too many Brunos. Darn. But yeah, I mean Dustin Jacoby's putting you out in the first round. You got to think Sterling's gonna probably put him out too. So Navajo Sterling KO round 1. Let's go, baby. Next up, women's flyweight Casey O'Neill 10-2 versus Gabriela Fernandez 11-3. Both ladies coming off a win, 5'6". And yeah, this is pretty much close to a pick'em. And one spot that I kind of like here is I kind of like Casey O'Neill. I don't know why. I probably shouldn't as I break it down, but like for some reason, I don't know. I'm just kind of feeling that she's going to come out and be a better fighter against Fernandez, who's probably not as experienced. I mean, yeah, she's looked good in 3 wins, beating Judice, finishing Wang, and then Staralenko decision. But I don't know, man. Something about I'm pretty torn on this one because I really do like Fernandez, and I kind of don't want to pick against her because I don't even know if I picked against her against Staralenko in a way, but. That being said, I was trying to figure out if I should be on anybody but Casey, if I should flip-flop over to Fernandez, but I kind of think Casey O'Neill is going to just be a better fighter for 3 rounds, more technical, more of the ground game. And that being said, I'm going to just take Casey O'Neill and stick with it. I think Fernandez, this is going to be a super close, super greasy fight. I think again, I think Fernandez does have takedown potential, but I also think if there's any, I don't know. I think Casey O'Neill, if she can survive that and just be a better and even have some reversals in there, more technical than fighter that than Fernandez has really fought because Judice has no ground game like that. Good defense, but no movement forward. I mean, she walked through Wang, who has nothing. Staralenko. So this is going to be a good test for O'Neill, and I think she'll rise to the occasion. I'm going to pick Casey O'Neill here, get the job done on a slight upset. Next up, Marcin Tybura, 27-10 versus Tyrell Fortune Cookie. 17-3 unranked, coming in here 11 KOs, and yeah, I guess this is the situation with Tybura. They either put him against a new guy to just get ran through. So first round finish by Fortune here. I'm not gonna really think about it because those are basically all his losses that I've seen from Tybura, and if he's gonna win, it's gonna be a greasy fight. So I'm just kind of think my guy's closing in on 40, 41. A lot of wear and tear. I mean, other than that, he's live for like a sub or a decision later in the fight if Fortune's a fraud. But I mean, if this guy's just a day late and $1 short against somebody that might be a way better athlete and even contest on the ground game, yeah, I just think this guy, if he comes forward the way his history is, he's gonna probably finish Tybura, who doesn't have great striking defense. So, Fortune round 1 KO. Otherwise, Tybura is the later this goes, the greasier it gets. But you can see it might not even make it there. Like, sometimes these guys, like Louis Sutherland, like they expect to make it 5 minutes. They don't even last 90 seconds. So next up, lightweight bout, Chase the Gooner Hooper, 16-4-1 versus Lance Gibson, 9-2, coming off a loss. Gibson coughed the loss to Bobby Green, who I thought it was way closer than it. I mean, it was split decision. I thought I bet on him, and I thought he was gonna win against Bobby Green, but Bobby Green looked pretty good there. Against Chase Hooper, yeah, like he should probably get finished here, but Chase Hooper is like, can you really trust him? My man's been finished or lost twice, just hasn't looked too good. I guess he's been finished twice in the first round by knockout, so it's always live for that to happen. Maybe Gibson's live for it again. You'd expect him to be a bigger favorite, but he's really not. So I expect Hooper to take him down and sub him. I really think that's got to be the way he goes. I don't think he contends with a strikeout here. I don't really know if Gibson's got that takedown defense in him. It says he's got 3 submission wins, but I don't think any of those guys are Chase Hooper. So I think Chase Hooper can win this fight by rear naked choke. That's what I'm kind of thinking. I probably Might sprinkle a little bit on the sub whenever it goes live this week, just because I am kind of a big fan of Chase Hooper's ability in there, and I think he rebounds off a KO loss and doesn't mess around again. But yeah, Chase Hooper submission, and I'm not thinking twice about it. Go Gibson, get your win, but you gotta go back to the well with Hooper. So. All right, next up, Ignacio Bahamondes, my favorite freaking fighter. Lost to Fiziev last time out versus Tafik Masuev. 22-6. Loss. I think this is. No, he lost to Orablai. So it's a guy that made weight in his home country and then lost to Orablai. Pretty tough competition here. I mean, in my opinion, Bahamondes is my personal lock of the week. Like, if that dude doesn't win against somebody like this guy, it's going to be really tough. I think this guy is actually a really big dog, too. I think he's got a lot of toughness in him, a lot of don't quit. You know, he's really willing to fight a guy that was cheating in his weight class. It looks like it's supposed to be like a Bahamondes finish. Which, I mean, I guess that's the case. He's going to piece him up from the outside is what people think at a minus 290 favorite. That's what you got to believe. So, can't really imagine him going in there and grappling again. Maybe he got, like, overconfident from his submission against, what's his name? Turner, because Turner was kind of, like, halfway out the door on that fight. But yeah, I mean, I love Bahamondes here. I kind of think he wins by decision, but that or he gets him out here super early because it just doesn't seem like the way that people like him and the way that it looks for the over-under that this guy, Masikev, he's been to 3 decisions in, whatever how many fights that is. So it looks like it's kill or be killed. And yeah, I'm going to go Bahamondes with the KO here. Let's go, baby. He's one of my favorite fighters. Next up, Terrence McKinney, lightweight bout against Kyle Nelson. McKinney 17-8 coming off a loss versus Kyle Nelson 17-6-1 coming off a win. And yeah, this is another one where I'm not understanding the odds so much, and I'm officially on Kyle Nelson. I think Kyle Nelson finishes Terrence McKinney. You could probably give him the first 2 rounds. I guess you can say Kyle Nelson's a kill or be killed fighter because he lost to Steve Garcia, and I kind of thought he would do a little bit better there maybe. And is Terrence McKinney as good as Steve Garcia? I mean, that was a featherweight fight. Was Steve Garcia coming up? Because he fights at featherweight. I'm not really... I got to actually kind of look back, see about that. Yeah, but I mean, I don't know how you don't like Kyle Nelson. He's more durable. He's got more upside to finish, inside first round or the second, That was at one, I guess a catch weight. Maybe Kyle Nelson missed the weight because he was at 148.5. For Kyle Nelson, so moving up, I'm just gonna count that one to a bad cut because if he's doing a bad cut, then I'm just gonna make it there. So I kind of like Kyle Nelson here. I think he finishes in the first 2 rounds. I think he can get a KO in the first round, and other than that, I'm really on Kyle Nelson, one of my favorite underdogs again of this week. Trying to really see who are like my favorites. Awesome. Hey, I mean, hey, you're going to get your money's worth. Going to get your money's worth. I'm about to finish this up here. Nice. And yeah, Kyle Nelson, man. I mean, Terrence McKinney, right? What's his situation? You got to win in the first round. Terrence McKinney, that's what he does. He knocked out Chris Duncan with the anaconda choke, which kind of I was all over Duncan there. I didn't really think McKinney. No, he lost to Duncan. That's what I'm. He wins against Borshev, like guys that I don't know. It's just like Kyle Nelson literally knocked out Frevola twice and he didn't get a knockout. He's up to lightweight, not cutting to featherweight even, right? He was at featherweight for a long time. So let's see how this goes. This should be a banger. I'm on Kyle Nelson. Next up, middleweight fight. Mansur Abdul Malik 9-0-1 versus Yashuri Belaguri. 9-3 coming off a monster KO win against Bakoyev, second round KO. Abdul Malik 9-0-1. I believe was that the no contest it was an result overturned to a draw against Brundage. So yeah, I think that was the KO to the back of the head turned to draw. within the first round, and it wasn't a no. Yeah. So standing guillotine choke against Tricoli, who looked pretty tough there. I think Belliguri is the guy in this fight. Man, he's just gonna stand. He's got a lot of length. He's training at Teixeira MMA with Poatan. Been sparring with him for so long. 33. I think he really puts on a class performance here and beats up Abdul Malik. It's just hard to really want to pick against him right here. You know, the guys that he's probably going to lose to at middleweight are probably some guys like Imavov, Adesanya, even somebody more like Pyfer who can catch him, right? Somebody more of these guys in the main event. Man, this is a freaking I call this a guillotine fight, man. This is a chopping block fight, and this as a pick'em, I think is massive two-way action, and I think it's one of those spots where if you like Abdul Malik, you gotta probably get him on a live bet to come back and win because I think Belguri's gonna look good from the start. But I don't know if he'll have that finishing upside, whereas Abdul Malik will have that finishing upside at any point if he pushes forward and doesn't really doesn't it's an experience kind of like Poatan was when he got knocked out. If you walk a little bit too far forward, sometimes you get caught and knocked out. I just don't. Again, I don't think his competition's been super. Wes Schultz. Yeah, we just saw him get knocked out again. Todorovic. What is he? A knockout machine. 4 KO losses. Nick Klein. What's Nick Klein do? Get KO'd pretty much 3 times by Puliev too. Brundage is a great anvil. Tricoli is a great. So is this guy Belguri? He's not going to be hit like that. But if he does, that's where you think you can really be on Abdul Malik if he has that KO power like that. But I can see I like Belguri 3/decision is like my official play. I think he could do a lot of damage. I don't think Mansour. I think it might be a lot of clinch. I think that might be his game. I'm worried about that. That could be something that also comes in. This should be a great, compelling fight. This is probably the one we talked about the longest, and probably be one of the more high level fights that we see on the card. I got Belguri by decision. I think he'll end up winning the striking exchanges versus some of the clinch he'll be able to work through. He works through some big guys. I don't think he'll really be worried about Abdul Malik. I will say you just maybe got to worry about the cut. Maybe he's like naturally a 205, so maybe he like loses and moves up. That's kind of something that I can see happening, especially if Poatan moves up to heavyweight from 205, leaves there, and maybe he moves up if he has a tough but yeah, it could be something like Poatan Blachowicz, where it's like a takedown, damage kind of fight, very split decision-y, very close. But I'm gonna go Belguri. Next up, featherweight fight: Julian Erosa, 13-3 versus Larian Douglas, 13-5, making his debut, 5'9" against 6'1". And man, I really do want to like Erosa here, dude. I've been on Erosa for a while. He lost to Melacosta. I think he actually wins that fight if he has a full camp. They took that fight on like a 3-week month notice. But yeah, you got to be worried about Erosa's chin against somebody like Douglas. And yeah, I think I'm going to I think I'll pick Douglas for the channel because I want to stay on the roll here. Maybe Erosa will be worth the bet because I think as an underdog he is super live for a submission against somebody that probably, like you said, somebody that could be fraud checked like Danny Silva did last week on the KO counterpunch volume. It's just kind of one of those things that like you never really know against these guys that are absolute dogs who go up against true contenders. Like Melacosta, Julian Erosa went to get war together and he finished Dan Ige like it was nothing. And that's another finish on top of a finish against somebody else that was really Morgan Sharari before that. So and Erosa's been winning before that. He got finished a couple times, and that's Erosa's thing. He gets finished. Is that chin glass? It's kind of where I want to pick this fight, like projection, right? There's like projection, and then there's like kind of hedging. So I mean, I think this guy can get in there, do some damage, be way better of an athlete, much younger age. It's one of those spots where if like you like Douglas, you got to take him to knock him out. If you like Erosa, I think you can take Erosa decision, submission, straight money line too. I think he can win all 3 ways potentially. Just damage, positioning, timing, control, also control. I think he's, got the submission upside. I don't know, 12 knockouts, it's like, who's he really knocking out, right? Darren Elkins don't count. So you think he's more live for the submission, but I can see him doing very well from distance over 3 rounds for Julian Erosa, maybe split decision win, something like, again with the underdogs, you kind of see them, they can win on the scorecard if the one trick ponies kind of can't get it done. That's the way to like kind of look at some of these fights too. So it's a way to like kind of think about it. I'm going Larian Douglas for the KO though, but Julian Erosa definitely live. Next up, welterweight fight, Charleston Harris. It's actually versus Nico Price. Michael Chiesa versus Nico Price. Chiesa minus 700 favorite against Nico Price, coming in here for a paycheck. And let's just go first round submission, Michael Chiesa. Don't even think twice about it. It says Harris had visa issues. He's Nigerian or something. But yeah, I don't want to talk too much about this. Guyana, not Ghana, Guyana. Yeah, if it was Harris, I think it would be still Chiesa, maybe by decision, but I think Chiesa subs Price, man. I think Price is absolutely washed, and he's getting another fight because it's short notice. So, Michael Chiesa, they're doing him a favor. Let's go, baby. Co-main event, women's flyweight, Alexa Grasso, 16-5-1 versus Macy Barber, 15-2. Grasso coming off a loss and not looking good recently. Macy Barber, 15-2. Looking pretty good recently, even though Silva looked pretty good, and then it was Shevchenko before that. Oh no, that's Grasso. I meant to hit Barber. Barber was Silva, Camarina, Hebas, Lee on a roll. And I think this is a rematch from UFC 258, Usman Burns, and this has to be Macy Barber all over it. I can't imagine Alexa Grasso wins this fight at this point in her career. Not that she's checked out. I mean, it is also Macy Barber, so like picking Macy Barber, you have to just hopefully she just has nothing crazy like when she fought Blanchfield last, right? Like that was crazy. She's in the hospital, so we have to like, kind of consider that it's a Macy Barber fight, but. This is either a get right or go home spot for Alexa Grasso, so I am a little worried about that. I do think another spot where underdog could win, but man, I don't have any faith. I don't know, man. I feel like Grasso lost another fight that I didn't. I mean, maybe it's just so much. I think it's kind of hard. I think she's got to be Barber. Man. I'm going Grasso. I can't pick Macy Barber. I'm going Grasso. I picked Grasso, maybe, but I bet on Silva. I don't remember, but I'm picking Grasso. Last chance saloon. Gotta do it, Diego. Diego Lope's going to be in her quarter. She's going to do it. I can't trust Macy Barber. Don't trust Macy Barber. I can't tell you to trust Macy Barber, so I'm not going to pick Macy Barber because I can't tell you to trust her with me, right? I'd rather lose with Grasso again and get proven wrong with Macy Barber. That's kind of the whole point and stuff that I get lost in when I wasn't doing so well with the picks. It's like the pick here is Alexa Grasso, right? It's who can you not afford to be wrong on, and it's like you can afford to be wrong on Alexa Grasso one more time. Off 2 high-level fighters, holding the belt. Shevchenko's arguably the GOAT. Silva probably fight for the belt next. Against Macy Barber, who barely can make weight sometimes, who has some good performances all over her career, but like isn't, not against a super high. I gotta just go with Grasso one more time. So let's go. Moving on to the main event, the style bender. Hopefully not the last dance. Adesanya versus Joe Pyfer, 24-5 versus 15-3, and I think this fight goes 2 ways. Adesanya wins by decision, looks amazing. And Pyfer can't get a KO, or Pyfer gets the KO. And I just don't think Joe Pyfer is going to KO Israel Adesanya. So I think Abus Magomedov, Kevin Gastelum, and Marc-Andre Barriault. Like, if you're losing to Jack Hermanson, there's no way you're going to beat Israel Adesanya. So Izzy by decision, I think is he'll style on him. He'll look pretty good. Joe's going to have to put him in the body bag. He's going to have to put him in the body bag to beat Adesanya. 2 straight losses, but to Duplessis and Imavov. Lost to Strickland before that. Lost to Pereira before the redemption. And, yeah, another last chance saloon here. I'm just going to go with Adesanya, man. I just can't really trust Joe Pyfer in a 5-rounder. Again, even if he gets Izzy early, I just think Izzy's going to have him. Maybe he looks good for a round. I think it could be 50-45 across the board for Izzy. Maybe 46, 49, 46 if he loses like a 4th, maybe the 5th round or something. If he, slows up, survives in a way. But yeah, I like Izzy here. I think he's gonna look amazing, and I'm not gonna not pick him again. Same thing with like Volkanovski. I'm riding these old heads one more time while I still can make the pick until I can't. So do as you please with Pyfer. I might be wrong. Might get KO'd one more time. I was wrong against Imavov. But yeah, I'm going Adesanya there. You got to ride the big dog one more time. Let's go, baby. We'll do a quick recap, and excited to bring this. Keep the hot streak going. I'm feeling better. I recalibrated on the picks, and we've been on a nice run the last. We're going to make it 3 massive winning weeks in a row here, and I feel really good about that. Starting off with Alexia Tayanara over Bruna Brazil. We're going to have Ricky Simone over Yanez, but I like live dogs here big time. Big time live dogs. Navajo Sterling against Lopes, get the KO. Casey O'Neill, we're going Tyrell Fortune on the KO. Chase Hooper, submission. Baja Mondays. Guess they're going to finish. I got Kyle Nelson, Belgori, Ryan Douglas, Michael Chiesa over Nico Price. We got Alexa Grasso and Israel Adesanya, the last style bender. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Comment your winning fighting picks in the comment section. If you get 100% right, I'll send you $100. Thank you guys so much for watching and supporting. I look forward to the fights and bring it to you each and every week. Take care of yourselves, your family, and your friends. Peace and love, everybody.